Have you ever noticed how some men don't fail in life because they are weak, but because they chose the wrong woman at the wrong moment of their life? Not every loss is financial. Not every destruction is loud. Some damage happens quietly, inside your peace, your discipline, your self-respect. And this video is especially for senior men, men who already carry responsibilities, men who already paid for their mistakes, men who don't have unlimited time to recover. Before we begin, make sure you stay until the end, because the final type is the one most older men fall for without even realizing it. And if this channel helps you see people more clearly and live with stronger inner control, subscribe now. It may save you years of emotional damage. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. Not every woman who enters your life comes to love you. Some come to test your boundaries. Some come to feed their insecurity. Some come to slowly consume your stability. Stoicism teaches one brutal rule. You are responsible for who you allow access to your mind, your time, and your energy. Let's begin. Type 1. The woman who feeds on your guilt. This woman does not argue loudly. She reminds you. She reminds you of your age. She reminds you of your past mistakes. She reminds you how lucky you are that she accepted you. Senior men are very vulnerable to this type because you already carry regret. You already question your past decisions. You already feel you must compensate for lost time. So when she subtly says, "You should be more grateful for me," it sounds reasonable. But slowly, gratitude turns into obedience. You start tolerating disrespect because you feel morally indebted. You stop expressing discomfort because you fear losing what you think you don't deserve anymore. This is emotional control disguised as kindness. A healthy woman never uses your past to silence your present. Type 2. The emotionally unstable woman who mistakes chaos for love. Some women confuse emotional intensity with emotional depth. They believe that drama is proof of passion. They mistake volatility for authenticity. And for younger men, this can feel thrilling, exciting even. Today she adores you. Tomorrow she doubts you. Next week she is distant. Then suddenly intensely attached. It feels like riding waves. High highs, low lows. And the constant anticipation of emotional shifts keeps you alert. Almost addicted. But here's the danger for senior men. Your nervous system is not designed for constant emotional roller coasters anymore. You have spent years cultivating patience, discipline, and stability. Your focus, your calm, your ability to remain grounded. These are your most valuable assets. And yet, when you let someone like this into your life, you begin walking carefully. You start measuring every word, timing your honesty, choosing when to reveal emotions. You start policing yourself, not because of a moral code, not because of fear of consequences, but because of the constant unpredictability of her emotional world. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, you stop being yourself. Your natural clarity is replaced by calculation. Your calm is replaced by anticipation. Your spontaneity is replaced by avoidance. The tragedy is subtle. You think you are adapting. You think you are being compassionate. But what is actually happening is erosion. Erosion of your emotional independence. Erosion of your self-mastery. Erosion of the very traits that make you magnetic, disciplined, and in control. Stoicism teaches a harsh truth. Peace is not boring. It is not a lack of excitement. It is not a void of passion. It is power. And the moment someone's presence constantly destabilizes your emotional balance, they are not passionate, they are unregulated. Love should stabilize your life, not fracture your focus. It should complement your routines, your ambitions, your calm. It should lift you without demanding that you collapse. If a woman's intensity leaves you drained, anxious, or second-guessing your own judgment, it is not love. It is chaos. And chaos does not create growth. It creates exhaustion. It creates hesitation. It quietly undermines your stability. Senior men must understand this clearly. Do not mistake drama for depth. Do not mistake unpredictability for excitement. Do not sacrifice calm for intensity. A woman who truly aligns with you does not push you to anticipate her mood swings. She does not make your emotional energy contingent on her highs and lows. She amplifies your stability. She respects your calm. She adds to your life rather than subtracts from it, because at this stage of life, your peace is your power, and anyone who threatens it, no matter how charming, is not a partner. Type 3. The woman who sees you as a rescue plan. This is one of the most common traps for older men. It is subtle, almost invisible at first, because it appeals to the part of you that wants to be needed. She does not love your character. She does not value your discipline. She does not admire your growth. What she loves is your structure, your routine, your stability, your financial predictability, your emotional maturity. She comes to you exhausted from her own chaos, burdened by problems that are not yours, and looks for refuge in someone who is calm, someone who can organize what she cannot. At first you feel needed, useful, important again. Your presence seems to matter more than ever, and in the beginning it feels good to help. But slowly, very slowly, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. You are not her partner. You are her recovery center. You solve her problems. You regulate her emotions. You fix the damage someone else created. You become the man who is always available, who always sacrifices a little more of his own life to patch her instability. She does not build with you. She only rests on you. And here's the hidden danger senior men must understand. A man who becomes a shelter often stops being desired, because desire is not built on utility. Desire is built on presence, vitality, and mystery. When a man's attention, patience, and emotional energy are consumed in rescue, his power fades, his boundaries fade, his independence fades, and slowly, without realizing it, you become predictable. You become dependable, but no longer magnetic. You are admired for what you do for her, but not loved for who you are. Stoicism warns us, never confuse being useful with being valued. Value is not measured by how much you fix. Value is measured by how fully you can exist, independent of the chaos around you. Helping is noble, but being consumed is destructive. A woman who respects you does not drain your energy under the guise of intimacy. She adds to it. She aligns. She builds. A woman who sees you as a rescue plan will never do any of these things. And if you do not recognize her early, you risk surrendering your time, your calm, and your focus to someone whose growth depends entirely on your effort. Senior men must remember, your energy is finite, your stability is sacred, your life is not a recovery center. Type 4. The woman who quietly competes with your purpose. She never tells you to quit your goals. She simply drains the energy required to pursue them. She schedules emotional crises during your productive hours. She creates tension before important meetings. She demands deep conversations when you need mental clarity. On the surface, she only wants attention, but underneath something else is happening. Your growth makes her uncomfortable because your discipline exposes her stagnation, so she unconsciously pulls you downward to restore emotional equality, not because she is evil, but because insecurity seeks sameness. A woman aligned with you does not compete with your purpose. She protects it. Type 5. The woman addicted to male attention. This type is extremely subtle. At first, she seems confident, charming, independent. But look closer. Her confidence is performative. Her independence is conditional. She constantly seeks validation, not just from youth and from everyone around her. Likes on social media, messages from old contacts, just friends she keeps in rotation, compliments she collects like currency. And when you, a man who values emotional clarity, attempt to set boundaries, when you say, "I don't like this," or "This makes me uncomfortable," she accuses you of insecurity. You're overthinking. You're controlling. You don't trust me. The irony is brutal. She accuses you of weakness, while she relies entirely on external validation for her sense of self. Here is the psychological truth senior men must understand. Attention addiction is not about attraction. It is not about you personally. It is about her regulating her self-worth externally. Her identity is unstable, and the admiration of men is what props it up. And here's the most dangerous part. Your presence will never be enough. No matter how much time, energy, or emotional patience you give, you are not competing with another man. You are competing with a system of constant external reinforcement. She does not seek intimacy. She seeks audience. You become just another point on her scoreboard. Senior men hear this clearly. If a woman cannot self-regulate her need for attention, she will always belong emotionally to the crowd, never fully to you. You will never be her emotional center. You will never be her anchor. You will be a temporary lighthouse she glances at, while constantly scanning for other lights. And this is exhausting. It is destabilizing. It is corrosive to the calm, disciplined life you have built. A mature man's greatest resource is his emotional bandwidth. It is finite. It is valuable. It is not meant to be spent stabilizing someone else's identity. The moment you realize this, The moment you stop justifying her neediness as charm or excitement, you protect yourself. Because you cannot compete with the validation of the crowd. You can only compete with her self-mastery. And if she lacks that, no amount of your stability can create it. A woman addicted to male attention does not build with you. She consumes you. Silently, subtly, slowly. Until your calm, your energy, and your focus begin to erode. Senior men must learn this truth. Do not mistake charm for stability. Do not mistake beauty for emotional availability. Do not mistake attention-seeking for love. Your energy is your frame. Your frame is your foundation, and it is non-negotiable. Type 6. The woman who slowly erodes your masculine frame. This woman does not attack your masculinity directly. She does not raise her voice. She does not create obvious conflict. Instead, she works in whispers, in subtle corrections, in jokes disguised as playfulness, in questioning your decisions in ways that seem harmless at first. She may comment on your choices publicly, laugh at a decision in front of friends or colleagues, make light of your leadership in small, almost unnoticed ways. She undermines without ever appearing aggressive. At first, you tolerate it because you are mature, because you have learned patience, because you have learned to choose your battles. But maturity does not mean self-erasure. It does not mean surrendering authority quietly. Slowly, day by day, the erosion begins. Your authority softens. You hesitate before speaking. You second-guess decisions you would have made confidently before. Your decisiveness weakens. Your presence, once firm and undeniable, becomes negotiable. The tragedy is not that she disrespects you. The tragedy is that you slowly begin to accept it. You rationalize it. You convince yourself that she's just joking. You tell yourself it's harmless. You tell yourself this is the price of peace. But peace built on self-erasure is not peace. It is slow decay. It is the quiet erosion of your foundation. Stoicism teaches something crucial here. Self-respect is not loud. You do not need to yell to maintain it. You do not need to confront to preserve it. But it is non-negotiable. Because once your frame is compromised, your influence diminishes. Your energy is drained. Your stability is questioned, by yourself first, then by everyone else. A man who allows small erosions eventually finds himself walking in someone else's rhythm, speaking in someone else's terms, acting according to someone else's approval. And that is the silent danger of Type 6. She does not destroy you in one act. She destroys you one overlooked joke, one small doubt, one subtle undermining at a time. The antidote is awareness. The antidote is boundaries. The antidote is refusing to negotiate your frame. You do not argue every point. You do not react emotionally. You do not make a scene. You simply maintain your authority, calmly, quietly, firmly, because self-respect is not flexible. It cannot be borrowed. It cannot be negotiated. It is the core of your masculine presence. And once that is lost, everything else and power, influence, attraction, peace begins to crumble. Type 7, the woman who loves your calm, but resents your independence. This is the most dangerous one. Not because she is cruel, not because she is loud, but because she looks compatible at first. She is drawn to your emotional control, your patience, your grounded presence, the way you do not overreact, the way you do not chase chaos. To her, you feel safe, predictable, stable. But here is the silent shift that senior men must understand. The very traits that attract her eventually begin to threaten her. Because you do not collapse emotionally when tension appears. You do not panic when distance is created. You do not seek constant reassurance. You do not reorganize your life to protect fragile moods. You remain centered. And emotional independence is extremely attractive until it becomes uncontrollable. So slowly, unconsciously, she begins to test your attachment, not through honesty, through emotional experiments. She pulls away slightly. She delays replies. She becomes emotionally cooler. She reduces warmth without explanation, not to leave you, but to measure you, to see whether your calm is real or only temporary strength, to see whether your independence is stable or collapses when affection is removed. When you remain emotionally steady, she does not feel reassured. She feels less powerful, because emotional power is not dominance, it is influence. And influence requires emotional dependency. When you remain independent, she feels less needed, not less loved, less needed. And for insecure attachment systems, being needed feels safer than being respected. So something subtle begins. She increases emotional unpredictability. She introduces mild conflict. She creates emotional imbalance, not because she wants drama, but because imbalance restores leverage. Because when you begin to chase clarity, when you begin to seek emotional repair, when you begin to question yourself, she regains emotional positioning. This is why not every woman truly wants a strong man. Some want a man who is stable enough to provide safety, but emotionally flexible enough to be steered. A controllable man is not weak. He is simply emotionally adjustable. The moment your self-sufficiency disturbs her emotional leverage, conflict begins. Not open conflict, subtle conflict, passive tension, coldness, withholding, small punishments. And here is the part senior men must recognize quickly. A secure woman experiences your independence as relief. She does not need to regulate you. She does not need to manage your emotions. She does not need to test your attachment. Your calm makes her feel safer. An insecure woman experiences your independence as competition because she cannot anchor her emotional value to your stability. So instead of aligning with your emotional order, she competes with it. A hard truth for senior men. Let me say this clearly. At your stage of life, you cannot afford emotional experiments. You are no longer in the phase where heartbreak becomes a lesson. Now heartbreak becomes damage. Damage to your nervous system. Damage to your clarity. Damage to the quiet strength you worked years to build. You cannot rebuild your emotional foundation. Every time someone enters your life with confusion instead of direction, you cannot keep teaching your body how to recover from emotional instability because the body remembers stress. The mind remembers disappointment. And over time, your tolerance for chaos slowly becomes your normal. You cannot afford to rewire your discipline again and again. Every time you allow emotional drama into your daily life, your routines weaken, your sleep suffers, your focus fractures, your self-control becomes reactive instead of intentional. And the most dangerous part is not that you lose time, it is that you lose internal structure. Senior men are not destroyed by temptation, they are destroyed by erosion. Slow erosion of standards, slow erosion of silence, slow erosion of mental space. You cannot afford to lose momentum for emotional noise, because momentum at your stage is not easily rebuilt. When a younger man loses direction, he still has emotional elasticity. When a mature man loses direction, he loses stability, and stability is not something you casually recover. The greatest luxury of a mature man is not money. It is psychological stability, the ability to sit alone without anxiety, the ability to walk away without emotional collapse, the ability to remain centered when life becomes uncertain. That calm you carry today was not gifted to you. It was earned. Through disappointment, through responsibility, through silent pressure no one applauded. And the most important relationship you protect is not romantic. It is the relationship with your own direction, your discipline, your internal order, your purpose structure. Because once a man loses his direction, every relationship becomes a distraction instead of an addition. Before you choose a woman, ask one simple stoic question. Does her presence make my mind clearer or heavier? Not happier, clearer. Does your thinking improve around her? Does your emotional baseline stabilize around her? Does your sense of self strengthen around her? Or do you find yourself overthinking more, explaining yourself more, justifying your boundaries more? Because attraction fades, chemistry fades, novelty fades, beauty changes, energy shifts, but emotional weight compounds. The wrong relationship does not destroy you immediately. It slowly teaches your nervous system to live in tension. It slowly replaces peace with vigilance. It slowly trains you to expect instability. Choose peace over potential. Potential is imaginary. Peace is measurable. Choose consistency over chemistry. Chemistry excites the nervous system. Consistency heals it. Choose alignment over attachment. Attachment binds you emotionally. Alignment supports you structurally. And remember this clearly. You are not responsible for saving broken patterns. You are not responsible for fixing emotional wounds you did not create. You are not responsible for becoming someone's emotional rehabilitation center. You are responsible for guarding your future. You are responsible for protecting the stability your older self will depend on. You are responsible for choosing relationships that respect your nervous system, not exploit your patience, because at this stage of life, love is not about intensity. It is about safety. It is about emotional order. It is about protecting the quiet strength you finally earned. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.